Over the past year, I've managed to build 4 different streams of income for myself. Currently, I'm only 21 years old, and in this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly how I managed to do that, and also breaking down each stream of revenue for myself by percentage. So here's a rough percentage breakdown of my different streams of income. So let's start with the lowest one, which is agency consulting. This is where I help agency owners such as yourself watching this grow your own agency and just scale to that 6-figure mark. This represents around 5 to 10% of my monthly income. And this is where basically I help aspiring agency owners or beginners in the space grow their agency and scale to that 6-figure mark. Next is what I make from my e-commerce consulting side of my business, which is essentially where we either do one-time flow builds for clients, or I just give general growth advice and we hop on a call and I tell them exactly where they're going wrong in their business and how to actually fix those leaks in their sales process. So that accounts for between 10 to kind of 15% of my income month to month. It varies a lot. And the last 2 streams of income is crypto trading and agency monthly recurring revenue. So crypto trading and agency monthly recurring right now is pretty even. I'd say it's 40%, 40%. So as of right now, I haven't included my YouTube AdSense or any of the money I make from YouTube. I make around $100 a month from YouTube, which is not even 1/10 of what I pay my editor to, make these videos for me. So yeah, I really do enjoy making videos, and that's kind of the main reason why I do it. So last month I did a 1-hour consulting session and I sold a 4-hour consulting package in terms of my agency consulting side of my business. This worked out to be about 5% of my income last month, and the reason why I do agency consulting is, to be honest, it's like the margins in it is ridiculous, right? I just need to pay Stripe fees, which means I net around 97% after all expenses, excluding VAT, of course. And to be honest, with agency consulting, it's something that I don't really see it as work, because most of my consulting sessions occur in the late afternoon or early evenings for me. And by that point, I had already done all of the major work blocks that I need to get done for my own agency in terms of really pushing the boat forward. So it's pretty much downtime for me to kind of socialize. If I weren't consulting, I'd probably be watching Netflix or something. So it's a really productive use of my time, and it's a nice little side income where, for example, if I want to buy a pair of trainers or whatever, that's the kind of money I use for fun. Also, I really enjoy speaking to the people I coach, and seeing student case studies really does make me happy. Eventually, I do see this scaling to between 10 to 20% of my monthly income, as it's something that's very much a low-hanging fruit for me to perform. And it's not too mentally draining, as what I preach is what I do on a daily basis anyways, so it's more of a regurgitation of that. Next is e-commerce consulting. So last month I made between 15 to 20% of my income through this, and these are basically just one-off gigs I perform for e-commerce brands, and I mainly offer these to founders that are not quite ready to work with us on a monthly recurring basis, or any agency for that matter, in terms of a cash flow perspective. So I offer these one-time flow builds for them, or maybe just one-off consulting sessions to really speed them along in the e-commerce journey, so that when they grow to a point where we can actually work with them on a monthly recurring basis, that's when we'll actually be top of mind, as they've already spent money with us and are pretty satisfied with our services. Currently, this represents around 15% of my monthly income, and to be honest, I'm not looking to scale this too much, simply because I really enjoy working with clients on a monthly recurring basis more. Number one, because it makes sense from a cash flow perspective in my business, but also more importantly than that, when you're working on the same accounts, you really do become involved with that client, right? Like, you really want to see them grow. And to be honest, growing long term is something that I'm more interested in rather than just doing one-offs, which is why I feel like keeping this at around 10 to 15% is the sweet spot for me. Next is crypto trading, which right now is representing around 40 to kind of 45% of my income. And It's just because, you know, recently crypto has just been doing ridiculously well for me, and I've 5 to 6x my initial investment already. And in January, for example, crypto trading actually beat out my agency income just because January was an absolutely huge month for me in terms of crypto trading. Recently, I did put some more capital into it and started swing trading mid to micro cap coins, which has been such a insane learning curve for me. I find the whole crypto space absolutely fascinating. By the way, just a quick disclaimer, please don't listen to any of my crypto advice, because just treat whatever I say on Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, anything crypto related as complete fluff, because I'm by no means an expert. With my crypto income, it's definitely not a predictable stream of revenue for me, simply because I know for a fact it's gonna die out kind of August to October time when the bear market really sets in. So, you know, it's gonna last for a good few months, but after that, I'm gonna have to rely solely on my agency again. By the way, if you're interested in a trading series where I take my portfolio from where it's currently at to maybe 5x where it will be, or maybe 10x or something, let me know, drop it as a comment, because I genuinely would love to make that into a trading series for you guys. And lastly, this is my main stream of income, which is my agency monthly recurring clients. And this represents right now another 40% of my income. But generally speaking, like last year, for example, this literally represented 90% of my income, if not more. This by far is the most consistent stream of income for myself. And to be honest, this is the one that I enjoy working on the most, simply because I actually have a great team, and the clients I work with nowadays is honestly just people I really genuinely have so much respect for. I don't think there's a single client of mine that I would feel awkward about kind of just sitting down and having a beer with. However, caveat to this, right, is my agency has by far been the toughest stream of revenue and income for myself to build. Simply because, you know, it took me just over a year to get to where I am at with my agency right now. To be honest, I could have been making more in the last, I'd say 2 to 3 months, maybe even 4 months. But I did lower my net margins to really focus on systemizing and productizing the fulfillment side of my agency, which is why, to be honest, I could be making 1.5x, 2x more in terms of net profit at the end of the month than what I'm making right now. But I chose to kind of cut my margins slightly just to make sure we have the foundations right to really scale to that 50 to 100 to 250K a month mark. Also, this way, you know, my clients can get a better experience along with my team as well. By far, my agency is the thing that has changed my life the most from a financial perspective. And also it's a stream that I'm the most proud of, right? Currently, at least. Now, if you're watching this and you currently don't even have a single stream of income, here's what, in my opinion, you should do. I'll try to make it as kind of practical as possible. And the number one thing you should be focusing on is just building that first stream of income. It could be a job, it could be a business, whatever you want, and just focus on building one stream of income right now. You see, a common fallacy peddled by young entrepreneurs that are completely self-proclaimed, by the way, they just have the entrepreneur tag on Instagram, and it's really cringy, right? Because essentially they're just parroting what these really successful people are saying. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's different things that are applicable to you at different stages of your wealth journey. How many times have you heard the term diversification and creating multiple streams of income? To be honest, the reason why people say that is, yes, whilst it's true that millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires, so diversified in their various streams of income, that is correct. However, when you're starting out, it's really impossible to build out multiple streams at a single given time. Why? Because you have no leverage. You see, one of the commonalities between all hyper successful people is that they all started with a single stream of income. Let me hop on a whiteboard and I'll show you exactly why you shouldn't diversify and how I've actually personally managed to build 4 streams of income currently. So I completely forgot to record this segment of the video, which is why I'm dressed really sloppily in here. But anyways, let's jump right into it. So last year, you see, I started with absolute zero last year, right? And what I did was I built my agency. So this was my main stream of revenue and income, right? And to be honest, this was my exclusive stream of income. With the agency, during my time of building it, I maybe made like £60 from YouTube, which is around like $90, I think, from YouTube. alone. And maybe during this time, eventually I took on a few coaching students and mentee students, and that I think I did around $5,000 or $6,000 from that. But you can see that, you know, $5,000 plus $60 is still nothing in comparison to the amount of revenue I did last year. The reason why I'm telling this is really not to brag, because to be honest, there's like people in this space that are doing stupid numbers, and like my numbers literally just pale in comparison, right? But you see how by running my own agency, I was able to make YouTube videos about this, right? I only made YouTube videos because I was doing this core business. Without my core agency, I wouldn't have my YouTube videos. And this allowed me to attract coaching leads, so mentees, which in turn made me around 5,000. But I wouldn't have been able to make YouTube videos, and I wouldn't have been able to attract mentee students without my agency. Again, coming back to the agency space. Without running my agency, I wouldn't have learned e-commerce. I wouldn't have the knowledge I have in e-commerce right now. So I wouldn't be able to do any consulting. And without my agency, I wouldn't have been able to become an e-commerce consultant essentially, or even get any e-commerce consulting gigs. And lastly, crypto. You might be thinking, well, how the hell does crypto involve agency? Well, to be honest, here's the truth. Agency profits, guess where that goes? That goes towards taxes, and it goes towards my savings, and it goes towards my crypto. Like that, without my agency, I would have nothing to invest. This is why I'm saying everyone should literally start a single stream of income and only work on one. And then from there, you're going to be able to kind of just pivot outwards and expand outwards. And this is how literally everyone who is successful that have built themselves from the ground up starts, right? They start with one core stream. The biggest mistake I see people making is they start building multiple streams of income right away. And I really do see a lot of young people do this and make this mistake because they're told about diversification from like, they literally get their business advice from like TikTokers, which I find absolutely hilarious. But they try to get into real estate and they put trader in their Instagram bio. They start affiliate marketing. They start crypto all at once, and they end up getting nowhere. I'm not even saying you should start an agency. I'm literally just saying start with one thing. For example, if you pick YouTube, start only YouTube and build that up over the years. If you want to get into coaching, start only a coaching business and build that up. If you want to get into e-commerce, start only an e-commerce business. Don't try to do everything at once, okay? You will get absolutely nowhere. If you get nothing from this video, just focus on building one stream of income and the other streams will follow naturally. Join my Facebook group to learn how to scale your own agency. It's completely free. Links in the description below.